welcome back to another video of WOTV Final Fantasy Brave Exvi's New Content Overview. This is Zero, and today we'll explore what's new in the game's second anniversary week. So much stuff to talk about, it's not even a joke. We have Final Fantasy VI, we have GLEX content, we've got some Final Fantasy XIV related stuff, we've got Trust Stones, we've got so much stuff to talk about. And the format we'll use today will be a bit different than usual, just because, like I mentioned, we don't want to get confused. We want to keep everything in topic. So I'll talk about Final Fantasy stuff specifically, then 14 and so on, just to give you some context on how we're going to proceed today. So without further ado, let's go into the summons. And before you touch anything, there's one specific thing you all must do before you touch anything. So first of all is to claim your rewards from Hiroki. There's a lot of stuff. So first of all, we'll go on to presents and claim all these goodies. There's 4 pages worth of stuff. So make sure you do that. I won't go through all of them, but the first thing you'll probably notice is that you'll get Locke and Justin's, or the Overwatcher's ear guards, as they've been dubbed. We also get the GLEX, 2 GLEX cards, well, global exclusive cards. They're very specific in what they do, and we'll go through them in just a moment. I won't forget about that. So here's Locke. Everyone that logs in within today and the next 5 weeks should be able to claim him for free, and he's apparently really good. I actually didn't use him at all when I was playing all the versions of Final Fantasy VI, so I usually replace him for someone else, but he seems quite a solid unit here, so it's quite likely that I'll build him and implement him in my current light lineup. After you've claimed everything, did I claim everything? Not really. Now I did. We will go on to the summons. And the second thing you will do before you do anything, ignore all of this, we'll look at it just in a second. You want to go here on the 5-step Viz cashback. Make sure you get as much Viz as possible. If you've been saving, you have at least 40,000 Visiore, 42,000 Visiore, and make sure you use those Visiore in this banner over there, because that'll give you higher chances of pulling for more stuff. That's exactly what you want, right? You want more purchasing power, and what better way of doing it with more Viz back with interest. So hopefully what I'll do is I'll probably won't personally pull this. I want to reach 70,000 Viz. I know I can do it, so I'll wait. So we'll go all the way up, and you'll notice that most of you, if not all of you, will have 10 attempts at getting a free UR unit, so that will definitely boost up your Mog medals. So let's do that. Well, I got Gilgamesh. That's pretty good. So pretty standard over there in regards of what you're expected to get. And most players, if not all, will also be able to get a chance of choosing a unit that you like. I recommend everyone that is new to go for Valentine Salia. She's probably one of the strongest cost 90 units. I think she's cost 90. But yeah, she's pretty much one of the strongest ice unit that is part of the normal pool. And keep in account that now win this quite a strong element with not many counters. You do want to get your hands on her as soon as possible. So do that. Now let's talk about Final Fantasy VI as a whole. So we'll talk about those banners and the weapons that are entailed in this week's content. So first thing we'll see is a standard banner with pity for Terra and CELES. So there's a lot of hype for CELES because she's apparently a really good tank that can do both magical and physical tanking. So I imagine that most people will go for her, but you shouldn't discount Terra as well, because one of her biggest pros is that finally her fire does have 100 guaranteed hit into the fire arsenal. So you might not ripe your benefits straight away. She might be very useful in the future. These guys also come with their respective weapons, with CELES sword, Terra sword, and Locke's dagger. I am particularly interested in Locke's dagger and Terra Sword, because Locke's dagger finally does provide further defense penetration to dagger wearers, so that you're not locked to the black garb in regards of equipment to penetrate defense. So you can give that to Vinera, whoever else you want that wears the dagger. And more importantly, CELES sword does have spirit penetration, so you can give that sword to your red mages, which might struggle to, deal damage and things like that. We do have Silma as well, so if you like her and you want to build her, especially for the class match, you might want to consider building Terra Sword. In regards of CELES sword, I'm not really convinced. It is quite nice that there is slash penetration up, but that limited HP up kind of makes me lots to be desired. I probably want to give CELES a different sword if it was me. Yeah, still a nice to have, still something to worth farming. There might be a case scenario for a good use. Okay, now that we've spoken about Final Fantasy VI, let's talk about the new global exclusive content. So we'll scroll all the way down, and we will have a look at specifically these from this banner on. So now you can get an extra chance of getting Ibarra, and she's quite strong, I won't deny it. Now that Ranan is also out, you'll probably be able to make an extremely strong Thunder team. So here's a second chance at getting this global exclusive unit. The timing seems quite good, but Hiroki did say that there is another global exclusive unit coming out very shortly. So I'm expecting maybe, my prediction is between this next week and in 2 weeks time. Certainly within the March, April, early April time frame. So if you want to save up for that, more than welcome to. There's not many elements that are out. There aren't many elements for which we're expecting global exclusive units. I'm thinking we probably need fire, we need ice, yeah, I think that, and probably something else that probably wind as well. So, those units might be quite meta defining, keeping account that we don't have very strong counters, or we don't have very strong units in those elements as of yet. So something to consider, but do not jump on it like a fly on hot poop. Further, here you get a chance to further strengthen the global exclusive units that you have. Something that you might want to do in a situation where you really want to max units like Starlight Elena. They're extremely strong, but you haven't had the chance to max because you were short on Viz or something like that. Well, now you have a 5-step banner to work on that. And like I said before, timing wise might not be the best, but something to consider. If you only have if you have exactly 120 shards to go, pretty good. If those shards will obviously be converted to Mind Spheres. So do keep that in account. If you're job level 22 and you need to get that job level 25 without too much hassle, this is a perfect way of going about it. Then, this is the paid version of that banner where you'll be able to guarantee at the third step a global exclusive unit. Quite steep, but and I don't think that at this stage is something that you might really want to consider. As I said, there is a global exclusive unit coming out soon, and I don't think that that 6,000 paid Visiore would be better spent in this kind of banner. Now, we do also have the equivalent for the vision cards, and I think the vision cards are definitely something you should really think about and consider. In particular, if you have Ranan, you do want that Ibarra vision card, and I've talked about this vision card in a past video, so you're more than welcome to scroll into my history and see what I said about this card then. But in short, it is extremely good, and I do strongly suggest it for every Thunder Mage team. Now, we do also have global exclusive vision cards, and we're gonna have a look at those right now. So we'll go on to vision card, This is the first vision card that is going to be released. I believe that the second one will be released a bit later. My understanding was that both were going to be released at the same time, but obviously that's not the case. So with this vision card, once you receive this vision card, you also have all the shards required to max this card, as you can see. And I believe that this vision card, with what it maxes, with what it improves, will be an extremely good card to add onto a second slot for one of your units, especially if you're a new player and you don't have many vision cards which you can play with. This will significantly boost your elemental party, specifically for fire, wind, earth, and light. Now, let's go back onto the summons, and here we will talk about the Final Fantasy collaboration rerun, and I think this is quite neat, but at the same time quite sneaky. Honestly, I don't think that except for Yuna, there's any unit that you should really be chasing. Yuna and Cloud, actually. There's no really any unit you should be chasing hard. Most of these units have been power craft, even in EX form, according to my opinion, obviously. But except for Yuna and Cloud, there's no one really you should be chasing like a donkey chasing a carrot, to metaphorize that. So I'll probably skip this, and I'll also skip the vision card rerun. There's probably two vision cards that I would strongly consider. One of them being Death Machine, because it does grant AoE resistance, and the other card I will really consider for your lightning team is Scorpion Sentinel. Other than that, I think that, yeah, that is pretty much everything we wanted to touch here. That was what, 14 minutes just into the summons. I'm expecting this video to be quite long. Okay, we can move on to the next section, which is going to be the shop. So onto the shop, there's a couple of things that I do want to raise everyone's awareness about. So the first thing is, as you can see on the left, now they have added limited sales, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, but from what I've seen, there's that sale is is not really something I would jump on like a hot cake. I think this is what, $29.99 US. You get 1470 viz. A couple of you are guaranteed unit and vision card tickets. I think this will be good for a new player, but for a returning or a veteran player, I probably keep my wallet locked. Now we have Pack H, and unfortunately Pack F is nowhere to be seen. That is a big shame. However, there's a couple of packs that look interesting. So let me just fill in this information. I think this is a carryover from the JP, which is pretty cool. So these packs seem quite worth it, especially if you're trying to chase those Final Fantasy VI units. I'll strongly consider these, to be honest, and see how we go in regards of acquiring at least CELES. That's what I'm chasing for. This is definitely very steep in my opinion, so that would be a massive skip, but at least this $12.99 US looks worth it. Going further down, this would be really good for new players missing a lot of materials. This is your go-to pack. And another pack I really like is this shardless bottles, which will expedite the acquisition of shards into the barracks. So if you have a lot of limited collaboration units, you'll be able to get their shards at a faster rate. So another thing I'll consider in the long run. Other than that, nothing else really tickles my fancy. Let's go on to the Final Fantasy VI collaboration shop, and here we should have a 300 viz pack, but I can't see that, and that's no good. Yeah, there's no other way of getting that those Final Fantasy VI 10 ticket summon tickets except for this 5,000. So completely disregard. I would not touch that with a 10-inch pole. And yeah, in this shop you get some shards and other ways of expediting the growth of the Final Fantasy VI units. Further down, this is the Final Fantasy Collaboration Rerun, and as I mentioned, if you want to spend Visiore in here, I would probably advise against. There's other ways to acquire these shards, namely the Mog Shop, so I wouldn't touch this. In here, there's a couple of things that look pretty good. So for 2 paid, I wouldn't do that. I am stingy guy, I know that. But let's have a look. For 222, this looks good. The Awakening Prisms and Fragments of Thoughts are actually really rare materials. You can get them through the selection quest, but you're gonna be farming for a while, and energy is also something that you really want to save. So for 222 paid Viz, that's something I'd consider. And I wouldn't really do this. We did get Blossoms of Paradise 6 for free, thanks to Hiroki's gift. Further down, let's have a look. I wouldn't touch anything here, and definitely grab those experience cube for free and that rainbow for 2 million gil. You see, so if you if you don't jump on stuff straight away, you'll realize that there's better stuff further down, just as we spoken about that Viz return summon banner. The kill stuff seems worth it. I'm mostly interested in these job enhancing packs. Blue and green are quite rare to get by, so I'd definitely get those. And this one I'll probably skip. Yeah, I'd skip that. Okay, time to go onto the Mog Shop. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to touch onto there as well. So yeah, first thing to do is with those 600 medals that you've been gathering for the last week, you do want to get 40 shards for all 3 of these guys. You obviously won't regret it, so we'll max and get it out of the way. Then we do have Final Fantasy VI event medals. You'll be able to get these summon tickets, which is actually quite cool. But remember, they will not proceed. I don't think they'll further your PD gauge, so do keep in an account. They're considered as single pools from my understanding, so it's a nice to do in case you want to raise your chances of getting Final Fantasy VI units, but you will not further the PD gauge for CELES or Terra banner. Another good thing here is summon medals, so you can PD Terra and you can PD CELES as well. And this is the rerun Mog Medal shop, so in a situation where you want to pull for those rerun units, you'll be able to use the medals here. Second anniversary summon medals, which is the GLEX units, you can pity them in a situation where you're unlucky. So if you reach 42,000 pity, you can then pity a unit as well that you actually want. So I think this system works well. But as I said, unless you know exactly what team and element you're building, I would be careful, because we do have a GLEX that is coming soon, and it might be part of an element that is really strong, like wind, or that needs power up. It can further power up the current element like fire. Okay, now let's go on to the far play. The first thing I want to talk about is something that might not be very evident for most people, and that now we have the Raid rerun, but the Raid is it's not in the usual spot. It's actually in the multiplayer. So here you can see 2 revival rooms, I'll call them rooms, for trying to get the rerun item, bludgeon, Bale Bludgeonet. It's a helm. It's not really that good. If you're a collectionist and you want to max it, more than welcome to do it. But there's so much stuff going on today, I'm not sure whether you want to spend your energies into doing something like that. Moreover, it's quite likely that you might not find anyone that wants to do this, just because this is the second or the third rerun. So most people already got whatever they wanted. But if you're a Final Fantasy XIV aficionado or a new player, then I'm sure that you'll find like-minded players that might want to do this. Let's go back onto the far plane. And under events, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be touched. First of all, event quest. So in here, you'll be able to gather the Final Fantasy VI medals and items. And once you beat these 10 quests, you'll be able to do the relevant quests for CELES, Terra, and Un-LOCKE's weapons. Further down here, you can also do the Final Fantasy XIV item is still there. One thing that is worth mentioning is that now we have a couple of reruns, and in one of these reruns, you'll be able to get Silma, which is an amazing MR unit. Everyone should get her. She's really good. And if you want to do a Thunder-only mage team, she offers so much to the plate. It's not even a joke. She's so versatile, and maybe that red mage is exactly what you need to be a one-hitter quitter, even against Earth teams. That's definitely a possibility. And you can also get Etre. Etre is okay. She's definitely kind to the eyes, but in terms of adding her to a team, I don't see her value as much. I do like a couple of things that she does, but she does have Doom, and Doom takes a long time to proc and actually work. And in a PvP situation, she might not offer as much value as other MR units like Silma, for example. We do have a new chapter for the Warrior of Crystals, and now we have bellies added to the team, to the Warrior of the Crystals team, and he's a nice book wielder, and he seems pretty strong. I have him in JP and pretty satisfied with him, but should you pull him in lieu of Astoria? Well, that's up to you, you know, depending on the teams you have. Okay, I believe that if we go on story, there's another thing that is worth mentioning, which is double unit shards, guys. Do that. Obviously, that means that you get double Mog medals as well, so pretty happy about that. And the other thing is challenges. There's a lot of new challenges added. So in this bingo board, you'll be able to get the other guaranteed GLEX vision card, which is Happy Birthday Global. This card might be proved quite useful for a lot of you, especially if you're a new player. Let's have a look at the stats for this vision card. So once this card is maxed, get all elemental up, and then ice, earth, light, and dark will get critical hit rate up as well. So really good for second slot, second vision card slot, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Going back onto the challenges, we do have a second anniversary guild challenge mission as well. You'll be able to get a fair amount of shard lists and also a couple of blossoms. Those are also welcome. And if you scroll further down, these are actually very well hidden. I only knew about this from JP. You get all these challenge missions which are directly tied to your selection quest progress. So in here you'll be able to get more items, more awakening prisms and fragments of thought, and other items that will help you expedite building whatever unit you plan to do. And this is extremely good for brand new players because these items are hard to come by. And I believe that is everything I want to touch today. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. We'll do a separate pool video for CELES or Terra. And if you have any questions, let me know. We do have so much new things to do today. I'm sure that all of you will be busy. I really hope that you get the chance to view this video before making any decisions. I hope that this video actually helps you making more informed decisions. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them in the comment section. I usually don't do this, but I believe that I would appreciate if we can at least reach 200 subscribers to commemorate the 2-year anniversary for the game. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great week ahead.
I hope that if you're pulling for CELES or Terra, you get it without too much issues. And if you're trying to build a light team, I hope that LUCIO and Un-LOCKE will prove useful to you. You guys take care and have a good one. Bye for now.